Welcome to Garden Chills.
We are back in the suburbs, and Jerry is back, this time in the form of Colin Farrell. This is Fright Night 2011. It's the same plot as the original. Jerry moves in next door, and Charlie discovers he's a vampire.
That's it right there, Adam. He does not show up on the video.
It's the same routine, just updated. And you know what? This was a pretty damn fun remake. Colin Farrell does a great job at playing Jerry. He's seductive, he's charming, and all the ladies love him.
Why don't you blow him off? A guy that good looking still single?
He comes off as a likable douche.
She's ripe. I bet there's a line of guys dying to pluck that.
Charlie is played by the late Anton Yelchin, and he brings an energy that comes off as driven, charismatic, and cautious.
Jerry, I just met him. That is a terrible vampire name. Jerry?
Whenever you see him nervous on the screen, we feel the same for him, and we are held in suspense to see how he gets out of whatever sticky situation he finds himself in. And last but not least, we have Doctor Who himself, David Tennant as Peter Vincent. In the original movies, Peter was a late-night horror movie host, but here he hosts a special effects show in Las Vegas known as Fright Night. Roddy McDowall was kind and charming in his portrayal of Peter, but here Tennant spins the role and comes off as bitter and vulgar.
You think I'm hanging out with Dracula and the Easter Bunny? Fuck off.
It's a welcome change, and Tennant knocks it out of the park.
See that? Like a great date. You get me drunk, I'll try anything.
We also have Toni Collette as Mrs. Brewster.
You know, getting what you want can be stressful, especially when you're not used to getting it.
Christopher Mintz-Plasse as Evil Ed.
That guy, your neighbor? Yeah, he's a vampire, man.
And Imogen Poots as Amy.
You do your, worried thing.
What's my worried thing?
Your worried thing. It's like,
I don't have a worried thing.
All great additions to the supporting cast. What this movie does so well is that it doesn't copy the original beat for beat. It does enough to distinguish itself. The first movie took place in the quiet suburbs, but this one takes place in the suburbs of Las Vegas. Instead of going down the gothic horror route, the filmmakers make this movie into an action horror, and it works. There's also a good amount of humor sprinkled in throughout the movie as well.
Fucking eBay!
When the horror scenes kicked in, I didn't find myself scared like the original, but I definitely felt a sense of excitement. I preferred to have a different experience rather than to watch the same thing again just with modern effects. Speaking of modern effects, unfortunately there aren't as many practical effects. The majority are handled here with CG, and that may come up as disappointing. But that doesn't ruin the experience. This is still a fun action horror that pays tribute to the original while updating it for a new audience. It's a welcome addition to the Fright Night legacy. Aside from the CG, the only gripes I have with this movie is that I wish it would have gotten a proper sequel. But we'll see how that one favors. And one more thing. Anton Yelchin, you were taken from us too soon, man. Rest in peace.
Welcome to Fright Night.
For real.